This week on the show, we're looking at, well, not much at all, because fuck all, nothing is going on in Hollywood. But we are looking at probably one of the biggest trailers of the year that just dropped today, and that would be Spider-Man. And you're getting all that right here on the JARcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 30 of the JARcast Movie Podcast. I am Jake, your host from Jacob Andrews Reviews, and yeah, we ain't got much of anything to talk about this week. It's been a slow as hell week here in, well, not here, but there in Hollywood, so not a lot of entertainment news going on this week per usual, like it usually is. But you probably can't hear me very good there. There we go. And so yeah, I got a guest on today, and this is Alvin from Alvin. Oh, there you go. Maybe they can hear you now. All right, cool.
Just need a little bit of microphone there.
There we go. I am doing this live tonight. As you that are here watching can see, I typically don't do these live, but I almost didn't do a show until this Spider-Man trailer came out today, and I decided, well, I guess I'll do a show because there's that, but there's nothing else to talk about. Got a couple of little things we'll speak on. This probably isn't going to be the longest show ever because we're essentially just doing a really detailed trailer reaction, I guess. We're going to talk about this trailer that came out today, but some of you that do visit and frequent my live streams and this show weekly in the chat will probably recognize Alvin's name, not his face, but this is the face to the name. This is Alvin that is usually in the chat. So I know of some of what Alvin has going on social media wise, but Alvin, where can people find you? Like, do you have a YouTube channel? I don't know how. It's not very active. Is it active? I'm not really sure.
Since Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Well,
got two of them, two YouTube channels, one under Alvin Mason and one under Nerd 314, and of course Facebook.
Yeah.
And, I've been doing Twitch as well, and it's under Alvin Mason as well on there. No sense in getting complicated.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, see there? Just go anywhere and search for Alvin Mason and you'll find this man. I know he does Twitch a lot more than I do, or you do Twitch a lot more than I do. I tried to get into it, and I don't know. I got burnt that first night I tried to do it. I was doing a dual stream between the two, and then it didn't just crash, it blew my system up, and I had to totally scrap the stream and start anew halfway through it.
Happens. It's using your graphics card to process two video streams to two different channels through an internet connection.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what that was. That was not my best night there. I didn't like that. So I've been meaning to get back into the Twitch game and kind of try and build that up some, but I've been kind of afraid to do it because that was a nightmare when that happened. But, well, it is what it is.
The best thing about Twitch is people can subscribe to you and give you donations right on the spot to help you out. But it's almost impossible for people to find you on there. There's no really search function like, hey, just random. And even if they go to the game you're playing, it's listed by the number of people. So if you only get 5 people and somebody's got 300, they're going to find you. Or Facebook, it actually helps promote you better. Not Facebook, but YouTube.
Yeah.
It helps you promote better.
Well, I like the YouTube streaming better, but admittedly, when you stream too much on YouTube, it can have a negative effect on the algorithm, apparently, for your other videos. You're
not the first person to tell me that either. A lot of people said they've actually noticed the decrease in their views and promotion after doing a lot of live streaming.
Yeah, so that's why I was wanting. I enjoy the live streaming. I want to continue doing it, but I just want to do it somewhere that I can get the same audience, but not have a detrimental effect on the other stuff I put out.
Exactly.
That's my conundrum right now, trying to figure that out. But anyway, I hope all you guys are doing well out there in TV land. You will notice that tonight, since I am doing this live, I will take at some point. I will take a moment and we will look at the chat and see what you guys have to say. But if we're not responding to everything as the show goes on, that's because I am still trying to do this more or less as usual, like we usually do. So don't be deterred by that. Please leave your comments. I would still be more than happy to see them, and we will go back through them at some point during the show.
John's saying, how's everyone? And we already got 10 likes on this video.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, welcome, Nerdy John. Thanks a lot for stopping by. And, 10 likes. That's good for my video.
Make it 12.
Yeah. But, anywho, I'm sure more of the regulars will stop on by. I see the numbers going up slowly. So, we'll just jump right into this thing. So, as I said, not a lot going on this week. So much so that I didn't even put show notes together as I usually do. But the little bit that was going on, it's not really, I mean, hell, man. Like I said, I almost canceled this show outright if it wasn't for this trailer today. But what is going on? Yes, I know. Free Guy apparently is making lots of money. It was #1 at the box office again. I saw Free Guy. You guys can check out my review of that. It was a fun movie. I liked it. I think I specifically said in my review, I don't think it really needs a sequel, but apparently it's been greenlit with a sequel. I know that. Alvin, have you seen Free Guy?
No, but anything that's got Ryan Reynolds in it, I want to watch. So
yeah, it's a good time. I mean, it was a really fun movie, and I know that you're a connoisseur of video games, so I think you'd enjoy it because it does have lots of video game references and stuff like that in it. It's cool. I mean, it's not like, is it the best movie ever? No, but I mean, it's fun. It was entertaining, but there's that. That's not really saying much. Nothing else really came out, so there's not like anything's going against it. Nothing of real note comes out until this week again with Candyman.
Did you see the commercial of Ryan Reynolds for Free Guy?
I know he did a bunch of commercials about like one of them was for like, I saw it on the Xbox. He was like being like a lawyer or something in Free City. He did like all these different commercials. Like one of them, he was dressed up as Deadpool, I think, with the guy from the MCU.
Well, the one where he's standing at the phone booth talking to everybody and the car wreck is behind him, that's actually in the movie. He's in the car in the wreck, but he's in.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I heard about it. I saw an article talking about that, how he like did this weird like meta thing where like that scene is in the movie. That promotional material is actually in the movie. Like they show like the scene from the actual movie and you can see him in the background shooting that commercial or something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know how they edited all that together.
That sounds like a fucking nightmare. But I mean, there's that, Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. I mean, I thought it was Shang-Chi. Everybody was saying Shang-Chi, but then in the past week, all of a sudden, everybody starts calling it Shang-Chi. Probably the movie came out and they call him that, but whatever. That apparently is good. I was not thinking that movie was going to be any good. I've not yet seen it. I had an opportunity to see it, but it was a little bit further than I wanted to drive. But, yeah, Shang, the new Marvel movie, Shang-Chi. I can't help it. It's going to be a Shang-Chi to me, but, that everybody's saying is really good. I have no idea. I can't comment on it. But honestly, it looked really dull to me. Were you? I don't know. I don't know anything about Shang-Chi, whatever, from the comics. I know you're a bit more of a comic book guy than I am. Do you?
I never heard of it a day in my life watching the previews. And I worked in a comic book store. Yeah,
Alvin ran a comic book store for a while, and he's never. I mean, I'm sure he's a character.
I used to go through friggin' back issues of comics to pull them out to throw them in the dime box and give away to kids, and I never remember seeing that issue. So I don't know where this comes from.
I don't. The 10 Rings, I think I've heard of that. Maybe in the movies. I don't know. That seems somewhat familiar. The name, the 10 Rings. I think that's like isn't it a group? I don't know. It's like a gang or an organization or something. I don't fucking know. Like I said, I haven't seen the movie yet. Apparently it's good. I totally thought it was just going to be a bore. People are saying it's good. I mean, is that because there haven't really been any good Marvel movies come out in a while, and that's why? Yes, Black Widow, you're included there. It was just
Yeah.
And this one's just better than Black Widow. I don't know. Maybe it is really good. I mean, some people are saying, "Oh, it's like the best Marvel movie to come out in years. It's top 5 and all that." And I was like, "Really? This?" But hey, I guess I'll see. I'm going to be seeing it in about a week and a half.
It's hard to top what you did with the whole build up to Thanos over 10 years.
Yeah, I mean all that stuff.
What are you going to do now? I mean, now you're going to have to start getting into the friggin' one above all and all kind of craziness to really top that.
Well, that's why I've said like I'm not really excited about the MCU as a whole. Like over the since Endgame, it kind of like that was almost like the end of it all. I mean, that's why it was Endgame, but I haven't been excited about the MCU since then because nothing really exciting has come up. I mean, the shows were Loki was cool, but WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier was terrible in my opinion, and WandaVision was just kind of neat idea, but just could have executed it better or at least faster. Black Widow was just the last Spider-Man movie was fine. Nothing really exciting. I look forward and I see what's the Doctor Strange. That looks cool, but that's mainly because Sam Raimi's making it. That makes me interested.
I like the first Doctor Strange. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I really like the first Doctor Strange. It was something different, so I'm looking forward to that one. But that's not till like middle of next year, or first or second quarter of next year, or something like that. And I mean, really, the Spider-Man, I really wasn't looking forward to that. This trailer, we'll see how much I'm looking forward to that one when we get to talking about that in a minute. But none of the other ones. What's the Eternals? That's the other one. Granted, that trailer they came out with the other day for it was better than that first trailer. I'll give it that. But still, it just didn't. There's nothing. I mean, I look at it.
Scene on Eternals, the best thing ever. It had the trailer, and then as it went to the end credits, it said the Eternals. It come up with the useless.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nothing about it really like jumps out at me and says this is the next big thing. This is exciting. So I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of. I've lost a lot of faith in the MCU moving forward, and I mean, granted, some of that is because they're attached to Disney, and Disney's been doing a lot of just questionable things the past year or so. Longer than that, but especially the past year or so. And Star Wars, they totally screwed that. So I mean, yeah, I feel like now what goodwill I had for them, what goodwill they had given us, they kind of sort of squandered in a way. And I haven't totally written them off, but I am kind of like, you need to earn my excitement back. I'll see your movies, but that's mainly because I review movies. But in order for me to be excited for these movies coming out just because it's a Marvel movie, you're going to have to earn that back from me because I'm kind of now just like, eh.
On the plus side, we're still actually talking about Marvel movies.
True.
I don't see DC getting that big of a build-up.
No. I think they could have if they had stuck with the Snyderverse. I ain't gonna lie. I am one of those who really liked Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I think if they had stuck with gone ahead with his sequels that he wanted to do, I think that could have been really cool. But no, nobody's talking about DC because I think the next thing they got coming is it's either Black Adam or no, actually they've got. Is it Morbius? No, Morbius is Marvel, but that's Sony Marvel, so he's not part of the MCU. I guess it's either Black Adam with The Rock, which I like The Rock, so that might be cool, or Aquaman 2. I don't know which one comes first. I don't know which one of those is coming first, but none of them are coming this year. So DCEU's, I don't even know if they call it DCEU anymore, but the DC movies, they're a ways out. So yeah, but you got a point. We ain't talking about them.
We're about into Universal's Dark Universe at this point.
Oh no. They got one movie. Well, two movies if you count not Dracula 2000. Dracula Unleashed, Untold, whatever it was called. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh no, that was considered part of that?
Some people say it is, some people say it isn't. I'm not really sure. I know that's where the idea was born. Like they wanted to do like these new remakes of all the old Universal monster movies. And supposedly that guy, I can't remember who played him, Lucas somebody, whoever played him, and that was supposed to be a part of that dark universe as well, because he's Dracula, so he doesn't die.
They just need to pull Brandon Fraser back out of cryogenesis and let him go.
Yeah, he's on that. Hey, speaking of DC, he's on that show. I think is that DC Doom Patrol. I've never seen it, but I've heard really good things about it.
I think that was Image, but it might have been shifted around.
Yeah. Well, they've got that.
I've actually got those comics.
Well, yeah, there's a show called Doom Patrol that everybody says is really good, and he's in that, but he's like, he wears a mask the whole time. He's like a robot or something like that. I don't know, but apparently that show's supposed to be really, really good. I don't know what the fuck it's even on. Maybe Amazon? No, not Amazon. I would have seen it. I don't know what the hell that show's on, but it's on. It's somewhere, and it's getting a new season, and he's part of it because I saw his. Whenever I see the guy's face show up, I assume it's one of those things saying, where did Brendan Fraser go? But no, this was saying that he's like actually in this thing, and he was crying because people wanted him to come back to Doom Patrol. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, yeah, Shang-Chi, apparently it's good. I guess go see it. Sure.
Watch.
Something else that's good that's not out yet that I was hoping would be good, and I'm happy to hear that apparently the first screening of Ghostbusters Afterlife happened either last night or the night before. It happened within the past day or two. It was a surprise screening for some people at some special event. I don't have it in front of me, but the early Ghostbusters reactions are apparently overwhelmingly good, positive.
Awesome,
nobody had
good.
anything bad to say about it. The worst thing anybody had to say about it, supposedly, which isn't, I mean, it depends on who you are, I guess, is that it had lots of fan service, but they weren't saying it in a negative way. So that's really good to hear, because that's one of those things, like, I look at Ghostbusters and I'm like, the trailer looked cool. I know that Ivan Reitman's son is the one who's making it. He made the originals. And, I mean, you know, it had a lot of things going for it, but you never know until you see it. Could go see it and it just be fucking terrible. So I was happy to hear that at least this initial screening, even though you got to take it with a grain of salt to a degree, because I feel like when people are at something like a big event thing like that, and then like they get a surprise showing of a movie that doesn't come out for a few months, that's like a big deal. They're probably pretty hyped about it. Kind of like the first time I saw The Phantom Menace. I went and saw that movie. I got to see it 2 days early, so I was just like on cloud fucking nine that I was seeing Star Wars in theaters, and I was seeing it earlier, and it was just like this fever pitch of awesomeness. So then, like, I came out thinking it was the best movie ever, but you know, no, I look back on that differently now.
Yeah, Ghostbusters, the new one, is one of those ones I'll go, if I can, I'll go see it opening day, because I've been waiting for that. When did Ghostbusters 2 come out? Was it 88, 89?
I think it was 90.
Was it 90?
It was 89 or 90. It was 89 or 90.
Cool. So we haven't had a Ghostbusters movie in, what, 30 years?
Yeah, it's been a while. I remember
It's been about 30 years.
The original not original Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters 2. They had a cereal, and in the cereal they had back when, I guess, cereals don't really do it anymore. When they had
Speaking
toys,
of which, oh yeah.
they had
Speaking of which, I got Ghostbusters cereal sitting there in the kitchen right now. It was at Walmart tonight.
really.
Yes.
Are they bringing it back,
Yeah.
or is it from
Yeah, it's at
1990?
Walmart right now, family size.
Well, this is back when they put toys in cereal and stuff, and I remember they had
Now it just has carbs.
they had a record in the fucking cereal box. That's how old I am, or we are. It had it was like on the inside of it. You took it out. It was a square, and you had to like break it out.
Yep.
And then put it on your. It was real flimsy. You put it on there.
And at the end, it had I think that was the one at the end. It could tell you if it was a winner or not.
Well, no, you had to send something in. I don't remember what it was. A contest thing. You had to send stuff in or something like that, or maybe it did tell you if you're a winner. I don't know. You're supposed to send things in because it gave you like an address and all that. But yeah, you had to put it on your record player. That's how. In that era, that's how regular it was to have a record player in the house. That they sent that shit out with a fucking box of cereal.
Yeah, if you didn't have a record player, you're some troglodyte living in a cave somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, only other option was an 8-track.
Yeah. Oh, my only fan on the entire internet just showed up in chat.
Really? Who's that? Short and sweet. Short and sweet. What's up, Short? How you doing? Good to see you here. All right, so what else have we got? We also got the only other, well, there's two other things. I saw this today. I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't know enough about it to talk about it, but I just thought it was funny. I think this is funny because it happened, and I also actually this kind of, you might be able to have more insight on this, but I thought it was funny because it's happening, and I just thought it was funny because it's showing up in entertainment news, and the fact that this was even a thing to begin with blew my mind when it initially happened, but I'm not getting political here. We're not going to do it. You stop. But apparently Andrew Cuomo apparently Andrew Cuomo is losing his Emmy because of whatever allegations he has going on. Why the fuck he had an Emmy to begin with, I don't know. I remember when they said he got one.
Because he's a hell of an actor. Smile like that.
I mean, I remember when they said that he was getting one like last year or whatever, and I was like, "What? He's a politician. Why's he getting him? Whatever." But hey, there you go. I'm not gonna.
I mean, he's been playing America for years. I mean, don't you think he earned it?
Well, he's apparently been into some bad shit because he has been canceled now, and he's losing his Emmy for the whatever he did. I think sexual allegations. I don't fucking know, but yeah, he is no longer the Emmy award-winning mayor. I don't think he's the mayor anymore either. I think he was taken out of office or what. I don't know. I don't live there. Anyway, okay, the only other thing I got before we jump into this trailer is, as I said to you guys who are just now getting in here, the trailer is not just going to be a regular trailer reaction. We're probably going to talk about it at length for a while. There's a lot going on there, but Denis Villeneuve, the director of the forthcoming Dune movie, which I am very much looking forward to, has made some comments that have been some have been taken out of context, some have been just kind of ridiculed. People haven't listened to the whole thing that he said, and I don't even have it here. I just wanted to mention that I ain't
heard about any of this.
Well, pretty much what he said. I mean, he's one of those like pure filmmakers, like an artiste. You know, he makes a movie, and all his movies have been really good. And they all look really beautiful. Like he made Blade Runner 2049, Arrival. He made something. What the hell? I don't know. All his movies are visually arresting, and he is one of those like artistic filmmakers. And he's making Dune, which Dune looks like it's going to be like a really good looking movie. But he is saying he is fighting to keep his movie off of streaming platforms. Until for a while. He wants it to go to theaters and only theaters. And he is saying that the only place Dune should be seen is in a theater. And apparently there's been this big upheaval about people talking shit about that. Some people are with him, some people are not. And he's staying pretty firm to it, just being like, no, this isn't a movie you watch at home. This is an event movie. This is a big, huge movie you should go see in theaters. Some people are saying, oh, it's kind of like pompous of him to be saying that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, he's the filmmaker. This is his vision. He made it to be seen on a big screen like that. He has every right to have that opinion. I mean, he's not going to stop it.
I have no problem. I totally agree with him. I mean, that's cool and all, but me and you have been to some theaters that shall not be talked about.
Yeah.
that are no better than SDTV in the corner room of rabbit ears.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, that's his opinion, and I don't think people should give him hell for speaking it and having that opinion, because the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, even though it's his movie, it's not really his movie because he doesn't own it. So I think it's Warner Brothers. If they want it to go to streaming, guess where the fuck it's going to go? It's going to go to streaming. So he doesn't have much of a choice there. But I mean, people have really been like leaning in on him about it, saying, you know, in this day and age with everything that's going on, that's unfair and blah blah blah. I'm like, I mean, it's if that's his opinion, he made the fucking movie. If he made it a certain way, so it should be seen that way, then you can't fault him for having that opinion. Because, I mean, the movie's been fucking done. It was supposed to come out last Christmas. Actually, it was supposed to come out last summer or like August or something. And then it was going to come out in Christmas, and then it got delayed, of course. And now it's finally coming out sometime September? No, October. It's coming out soon, supposedly. We'll see.
It needs to come to the 4D up there in the Regal Cinemas.
Oh yeah, I mean I've actually never been to a 4D movie. I know you have. I've not been able to experience that as of yet. All that stuff started, and then all this stuff started.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Yeah, we got to see it part 2 in 4D, and the seats never quit moving. every time the camera pans up or down, the seats do the same. So I could imagine Dune with some sandworms, everything else be great in 4D.
So the seats, is that the only difference between like a regular theater and of course 3D? Is like the seats move and stuff, or has it got?
No, I mean it shoots you water. It's got fog. It's got lightning effects.
Really,
it's everything. Like
that's
if something
cool.
Sneezes in the movie, it's kind of what they used to do at the theme parks.
Yeah.
And like if you're in a car and the car's flipping over a cliff, it feels like you're flipping over in the chair. It rattles that bad. And
I know I saw a thing at Ripley's Believe It or Not one time, and they had a theater like that. I don't know if they called it 4D, but it was like you're skiing down a mountain, and it had like snow coming out and stuff blowing in your face, and the seat was moving all around and all that.
Oh yeah, it has wind on there, it blows wind on you, and it can mist in the fan to blow water on you and everything. It's pretty cool. And like it's sneaky too. It can actually raise up real slow, or so slow that you don't even realize it's raising up. And then say something falls in the movie, the seat will drop you, and you didn't even know it was up.
That's cool.
Really cool like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, you definitely would want to see some movies in that. But Sometimes it's a little bit much. Sometimes it's like even when they're like sitting there talking to each other, the seat's just trying to figure out something to do. It's like, all right, you can chill a minute.
You walk up with somebody with like a real deep voice, like a Morgan Freeman or something. It's like moving around or something.
Yeah, the chair's like vibrating with the bass. It's like
they're just fucking talking. Stop.
Yeah, it's like, please, my back hurts. Quit.
Well, I might do that then if I know which theater you're talking about here in the area in Nashville. I might go. If Dune is showing, which I'm sure it will be, as long as everything is still open by that point, I might actually try and go see that there in 4D because I love Dune, and even the David Lynch one. I'm not a David Lynch fan, but I love Dune. I totally acknowledge the '84 Dune's issues, but I still love it because I grew up with it.
You just read the book.
Oh yeah,
The encyclopedia.
Yeah, well, I love the book. I read the books, and I really enjoy the books. But the '84 adaptation was ambitious. We'll say that it has its issues.
Yes.
But I grew up with it, so it brings back nostalgia for me. But I really enjoy that movie. I know some people.
Speaking of which, when we go, I'm gonna be so disappointed they don't have slime and Ghostbusters in 4D.
Oh wow, well, I don't know if I mean. I'd be okay with them not having shot with slime. Be like a episode of what was that show on Nickelodeon? Yeah.
Yeah, Double Dare's like you.
Where you get slimed.
Answer the question.
Either that or or you can't do that on television. Didn't they slime you on that too? That's where sliming started. Wasn't it? You can't do that on television. Isn't that where it started? Like they would say something and they would get slimed. I can't remember what it was. I can't.
I had 3 TV channels, so I never got to see that. It's like I got 2, 4, and 5, and if you held the rabbit ears right, you got 17 and 30.
I remember you can't do that on television. It was where they were always like it had the skits. It was like skits, but they were like the same skits each week. Like it had the kids in school and they were all in the lockers, and for whatever reason, like one kid would come out of a locker and say something, they close it, and another kid would come out and respond, and that's the whole conversation. I don't know why that was funny, but it brings back memories for me. And they had the one where they were like in the diner, and it had that guy, the cook, the short order cook over there, and they'd say something, and he'd go, "I heard that." I don't know why that maybe you had to be there, but I thought it was funny as hell back then. But yeah, anyway.
I missed out on a lot of stuff with good cable, so.
Well, I mean, even cable was only like, 15 channels back then, I think, at the most, 13 to 15 channels.
And no commercials.
Yeah, but anywho, so yeah, that's really all. Denny Vanu says go see Dune in theaters, which I planned on doing anyway, but, people giving him shit about it, whatever. Like I said.
Ghostbusters, definitely seen in theaters. They'll both be awesome. There ain't no doubt about it. I mean, just the trailer of Ghostbusters is like, yep, you sold me.
Yeah, that movie looks really fun to me. I'm hoping. A lot of people were giving it shit saying, Ghostbusters is supposed to be funny. And I'm like, have you seen it? How do you know it's not? And they're like, this doesn't look funny. I'm like, well, Ghostbusters, like the first, even the second one, Ghostbusters always was supposed to kind of be a horror comedy. Like it had horror elements to it.
It had a lot of dry humor in it.
Yeah, and I mean,
especially with Bateman. Bateman was just sarcastic, dry all the way through.
Yeah, it wasn't like outright, like if you watch Ghostbusters, it is a comedy, but it's not just like laugh out loud joke a minute comedy. I mean, it's got some, like the fucking thing in the beginning of the first movie with the librarian. When I was a kid, like a young kid, that scared the shit out of me. When they walk up and she's like, "Rah!" Yeah, that shit, I ain't gonna lie, that gave me some nightmares here or there. At least made me want to sleep with my closet door shut.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was good. It was a good movie. It was written good. It had good comedy in it. It wasn't trying to be like slapstick.
Yeah, like the 2016 one. We're not going to talk about that one. But
I don't know what you're talking about anyway. I ain't seen a Ghostbusters movie in 30 years.
Well, I didn't either, and I've seen that one. But I know Nick last week, he said he actually liked Ghostbusters 2016. Good for him. Those that like it, to each his own.
To give him for Christmas.
Good. To each his own. It wasn't for me, but I'm happy that you guys found something to enjoy in it. We can all agree to disagree, I guess. But like I said, everybody, that is essentially the news for the week. That bullshit that I just went over. Nothing, and I had to dig for that. Nothing's really going on, like as far as like Hollywood goes. Nothing that I'd be willing to report on. I mean, all the other stuff, anything else that was going on had something to do that was going to lead down a negative road, and I want to get there. I did mention the Como thing, but I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's just been a really slow fucking week, and
There's too much tragedies went on in the past week, so it's kind of overshadowed anything in the entertainment industry.
well, yeah, that. But as far as the entertainment industry goes, it was really slow until today, and they dropped this trailer everybody's been talking about for like, I don't know, months. They've been talking about this trailer coming out. Everybody's been saying, "Oh, it's next week. It's coming out next week. It's coming out then." And it finally dropped. It like I don't think people knew it was coming because like some leaked footage of it leaked late last night or yesterday afternoon. And I don't think they planned on releasing it when they did. Not that early. I think it was coming soon, but I don't think they planned on it coming as early. But that leaked footage got out, so they just said, "Fuck it, drop it." That's why it dropped at the really weird time that it did. It was like super late at night. It was like kind of like it was late last night or early this morning, however you want to look at it. It just like
so
dropped.
Everything leaks anymore. I don't believe all that for nothing.
I think this did. Yeah, I'm with you. I know they've got those planned leaks and stuff. This did though. I think because it looked like shit. I don't think anybody wants their movie being out there looking. I think that's why they did it. They were like, "Oh, this looks bad. We have to put this out, the real thing out there, so people could see." No, it's not that bad looking, because like it was like almost like cell phone footage of a recording. I mean, it was bad. It was not a clean picture, but it was clearly real. You could look at it and say that is from the movie, but that looks terrible. So that's why I think we got it as early as we did. It may have been coming today or maybe in the next few days, but I don't think it was meant to come at why would Marvel drop a fucking movie trailer in the middle of the goddamn night? Makes no sense. But
when's the movie supposed to come out itself?
December 17th.
Yeah, it probably was a legit leak because that seems a little early.
Yeah, but all right. So yeah, we're going to talk about this thing, and I know we've already watched it. And probably anybody who would be tuning in is probably everybody's watched this trailer by this point. But just for those of you that have not, I am going to play the trailer one time so that we can just, you guys have an idea. Like if you haven't seen it, you'll know what it looks like. So I'm going to turn that on for us. We'll take a look at it. And, well, where am I going? Well, where did I put it? There it is. All right, so I'm going to turn this thing on, and then we will discuss about it. Here we go. Here's
Fair to be discussed.
Spider-Man.
Oh, look at this. This is a good one. Some suggest that Parker's powers include the male spider's ability to hypnotize females.
Stop, come on.
Yes, my spider lord.
We have one.
Can we just stay up here
I
all
think
day?
so.
It is so crazy down
Yes.
That's right,
Okay,
folks.
so I can't
Spider-Man
hear it.
is in fact Peter Parker.
there. Listen, I
But
did not kill
but you guys
Mysterio.
are seeing
the
it,
drones
and
did.
I don't think
drones
Alvin,
that are
I didn't
yours.
really think this was a good idea. You can't see it either, but you've
Isn't
seen
it
this
part of the
trailer.
foliage about all
Oh,
this?
okay, okay.
What do you mean?
All right, so yeah, it's
Now that everybody knows, you don't really have to hide or
Yeah,
lie
I mean-
to people.
For the record, I never wanted
I'll let
to
it
lie
play
to
out.
you.
I'll let it play out for those of
But
you
how
that
do you tell
haven't
someone
seen
that you're Spider-Man?
Of course, as we know by this point, it is like about the
Now everybody
multiverse and
knows.
all that.
But this
which
isn't about me.
I have.
This is hurting a lot of people.
Thoughts about. What do you
I've just
know
been
about?
thinking about
What
how
do
to
you
fix
know
all of
about
this.
like this? I know that the MCU is always a little bit different
So,
from the
Peter,
comics, but it pulls inspiration
What do
from
I
the
owe the
comics.
pleasure?
I'm sorry.
What do you know
Father,
about being a
said-
comic book
Please,
fan, more of
saved
a
half
comic
the
book fan
universe
than me?
together. I
What
think
do
we're
you
beyond you calling
see
me sir.
here that's
Okay,
pulled from
Steven.
comics?
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
From what I've
When Mysterio revealed my identity, my entire life got screwed up. I was wondering if maybe you could make it so that he never did.
Strange.
Don't cast that spell. It's too dangerous.
So far, the main thing
Fine.
though
I
is,
won't.
seems out of character. He's a surgeon. He knows
The entire world is about to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Wait, everyone? Can't some people still know?
That's not how the spell works.
So MJ's gonna forget about everything we've ever been through?
Stop
I
tampering
saw
with
that.
the spell.
I thought that
Oh my
too.
God,
I
Ned,
thought it was
he's my
kind of
best friend.
odd that
But my Aunt May
he's
should
like,
really know.
Stop talking.
how really, and maybe it's just the way that the trailer's cut. Maybe
What just happened?
the trailer's coming.
We tampered with the stability of space-time.
yeah, because it makes it look
Multiverse
like
is a
it's
concept
just
about
like,
which
hey, I
we know
want
frighteningly
to make
little.
this cataclysmic like change the things, just change the world. How it's gonna be. Okay, no
It's
problem.
you trying to live two different lives.
longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes.
Your get out of jail
Careful what you wish
free
for,
card.
Parker.
So did you? I do like how there's the money shot with Doc Ock. Now, funny enough,
Peter.
this is actually a teaser trailer. This is a hell of a teaser trailer. this shows a lot of stuff to just be a teaser trailer. All right, so that was the trailer right there. I'll leave it playing in the background with no sound. But
my main concern is I hope this is a little bit more focused. A lot of these movies seem to get a little unfocused, trying to throw in too many things. Because even the last of the Tobey Maguire movies, they had the 3 villains in the end. It was like spread so thin, what could have been a much better focused movie. And
Sure.
it's like they, it's hard to convey all that storyline in an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Spider-Man 3 was that was due to apparently they say it was due to a lot of studio interference. He didn't want Venom in the movie. They wanted Venom in the movie. So Sony, the studio, made him add Venom to it, and I think somebody else, I don't know, but I know it was only supposed to be like 1 or 2 villains. What was it? Who was it? Sandman.
They already had Sandman in it. Then they threw in like a 15 minutes worth of Venom, and like pretty much condensed Eddie Brock's story down to 15 minutes.
Yeah, and there was somebody. Green Goblin. Well, his son, James Franco, is the Green Goblin or Hobgoblin. I don't know. He's one of them. Goblin-esque character.
Hobgoblin, because it's his son. But yeah, man, it was just like you threw all that together into one movie, and it's kind of like, okay, let's rush over here. Let's tell this story. Let's do this, and it's like it almost is kind of painful to watch.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily as bad as a lot of people say it was, especially back then. I think it's kind of warmed up to some people, but it was definitely the worst of the 3 original Spider-Man movies, and it had its issues. Venom just didn't need to be there. He just did not need to be in that movie. But as far as this trailer at least, I haven't seen the movie, of course. I do know from what I've heard. I guess we don't know anything. From what we've heard, it is gonna. They are trying, and you can tell from the Loki show and everything that they are really going to lean hard in this phase into the whole multiverse thing. I feel like we'll talk about what I think about multiverse in a few minutes, but they're going to really lean hard into that, and that all started with Loki, and I think it's going to kick off here, and I think we're going to get a whole lot more of it in the Doctor Strange movie, and that's when they're going to start resetting and soft rebooting and things like that. That's what I think, at least. Now that's where they're going to start changing things up the way that they want, and that's this is the beginning of that. Now, I mean, apparently this movie, if you believe all the leaks and the rumors, I mean, obviously Doc Ock is in it. We saw Green Goblin's grenade there, and you heard Willem Dafoe laughing in the background.
Is Tobey Maguire going to be in this one as well?
Supposedly, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it.
We're already up to Reverse in Time, Multiverse, Doctor Strange crossover, Doc Ock, Tobey Maguire. I don't see this movie getting spread thin at all.
So, yeah, well, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, both the previous 2 Spider-Men, are going to supposedly be in this movie. Doc Ock is obviously in it. It is strongly hinted that, I mean, unless that's a post-credit scene and, like, we just see that grenade, it is strongly hinted that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is going to be in it. It is also, there's a part in the movie, if you look at the footage at some point, you'll see a lot of shots with, like, lightning in them, and people are saying that is Electro. Is that his name? Jamie Foxx's character from Amazing Spider-Man 2? I think it was whoever Jamie Foxx played, the electric guy. And Jamie Foxx, it is said that Jamie Foxx has been seen on the set and all that. So supposedly he's going to be in it. Supposedly also, since this trailer came out, there's a few shots in it that show a lot of sand. So people are saying that Sandman might be in it. Also, in this trailer,
I don't see this being unfocused and spread thin at all.
Also, in this trailer, there is a scene in the dark.
Hulk's going to show up at one point. Yeah.
Well, there's a scene in the dark that you can see a silhouette. I had a hard time seeing it, that it looks like Venom, possibly in the background. Now, Venom is
We got 2 movies of that. Is it going to be the original or the one from the series they're doing now?
that I don't. I would think it'd probably be the Tom Hardy one, but because Sony is making both these movies, this is an MCU
It's a
movie.
trick question. It's got both. They made each other fight.
Yeah, Sony is are making this movie. It's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is not made by Marvel. It's made by Sony. It's a Sony property, or I think it's made in conjunction with both of them. They have a contract because Marvel doesn't own Spider-Man anymore, at least not the cinematic rights. That's why they have to have Sony, and Sony won't let go of it. Supposedly, he's only getting, I mean, last I heard, because they had a bunch of bullshit go down about like the rights to Spider-Man, and they actually weren't going to do another movie because Marvel was like wanting more money, and Sony was like, no, we're not giving you any more money. And they put the kibosh on all of it, but then apparently they came on and they came to a consensus. Now, I don't know if they're going to make any more Spider-Man movies after this. Who knows? But that's not in this trailer. As far as this trailer goes, though, yeah, there's a shit ton of rumored characters, and the trailer does hint at quite a few of them. You make a really good point there, though, is at what point, because that was the problem everybody says with Spider-Man 3, and even Spider-Man 2, how they had Amazing Spider-Man 2. They added too much. There's too many villains, it was spread too thin. And I do get a wonder at some point, could they possibly spread this too thin? Are they just trying to like throw in so much stuff that it's just like overload? Unless all this shit happens like in the last, 15 minutes of the movie.
Like, see, it's like the discussion you've always had with me, where I'm always like, you've had the source material, why can't you just make a proper movie from the source material? And you've explained to me several times, yeah, they have to cut it down for the pacing. Movies are different from comics and books. Understand. But this seems to be leading to the door where they're trying to put too much source material in instead of, editing for the movie. They're trying to stick so too much in, so they kind of wind up back at square one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, because this trailer was just I was just trying to take in so much from it when I was like going through it and making a couple little notes of things I wanted to go over. But you actually, that's something that I can't believe I didn't miss. But now that you've said that, I'm really thinking about it. There's a lot going on in this fucking movie.
I mean, for real. Oh, yeah, by the way, while you're oops.
Do what?
Stream unavailable. Stream suspended for policy violations.
What happened? Oh, is it the fucking... Hang on, let me turn that off. I guess it's the trailer. Hang on, give it just a second. We'll give it a second and it'll come back. Really? All these people, they've been playing that fucking trailer all day. And mine gets knocked off. Let me give it a second and see what happens.
I don't know. I think you just attract them, man. You can't even play freaking Jack box without getting kicked offline.
Hang on, give it a second. We'll see if it pops back up here in a sec. It did this with Jackbox. So I see somebody saying, "Oh no."
Oh no, Mr. Bill. Meanwhile, we're waiting for this to come back. I'll go through comments. We got, holy crap, you got movie Emporium in here.
Oh, he just saw Candyman.
Yeah, he's talking about.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Good. Got Ghostbusters. Short and Sweet's looking forward to Rock as a superhero, which Rock's already a superhero in real life, so that's just
right.
Double. Yeah.
So everybody, I guess that's a good spot to break for a minute and go through the comments. But apparently YouTube didn't like that we were using that trailer, even though everybody else
likes people actually like streaming it all.
That trailer has been up on everybody's channel all fucking day. My channel, they shut it down. Heaven, what the fuck? But my stream is no longer being blocked due to copyright issues. Great. Anyway, let's where were we at on the comments?
Let's see. Going back here, Short and Sweet was wanting to Rock as a superhero. What were you watching? Saying Happy Tuesday.
What's up?
I guess Short and Sweet really likes The Rock.
Who doesn't like The Rock, man?
I tell you, who doesn't like The Rock? Hulk Hogan. He doesn't like anybody. Let's see. Short and Sweet says she's looking for a horror movie called Antlers. That sounds awesome. I'll watch that.
Yeah, that comes out in October, I believe it is. I think it's supposed to come out in
That goes on
October.
the list right next to Halloween Kills, so I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Fuck, I can't even remember. That was supposed to come out a year ago too, but it's supposed to come out in September. I'm pretty sure it's October.
What were you watching? Says he's gonna do more porch vids in the future.
Porch vids?
Yes.
What's a porch? I know I've been seeing a lot of those pictures you've been posting, Ryan. Are they like? It looks like you're out in the country or something. Did you move? Were you vacationing or what's going on there? More power to you. I don't blame you.
Broadcasting from the void here, so I don't have a porch.
Well, I think
Just the void, black as fire as I can see.
if I remember correctly, Ryan lived in NYC, so I don't blame him for getting out of there if he did.
I like what were you watching? Said YouTube, I hate thee. Yes. Said I hate movie studios for this very reason.
I see Nick says, Candyman, I did see. You should make Sony say it 5 times.
When Jake does a review of that, I want to make sure there's a mirror facing the whole time he's doing a review. Dare you to say the movie title? Dare you?
That movie scared the shit out of me. The original one. The original one scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Why did my parents let me watch that? Like it was new.
It's like when I got older, I realized the horror movies I got to grow up watching was not normal for the rest of the kids.
Well, like I was never scared of like Freddy and Jason and all that. I mean, I liked all those movies. I watched Candyman. That shit fucked with me. That messed with me when I was a kid. I mean, I'm cool with it now, but back then, I remember going to bed that night, and I was never scared of the dark or anything. But man, I was so anxious in bed that night. I kept thinking that motherfucker was going to come out of my closet or somewhere. I didn't know. I was
Walmart doesn't
terrified.
sell enough night lights for movies like that.
Yeah, that shit scared the fuck out of me. But anyway.
But
All right.
what I was about to say with this is, hey man, while you're rewinding all the time in space, could you go back to Uncle Ben and bring him back as well? You know, just a few more years.
Yeah, why not? But
I mean, you're already just changing the multiverse. What's one more?
well, and I mean, in the trailer, you see him. He's like, I feel like this is something they would have discussed before. How did this whole thing go down? I know in the trailer, it seems like we were discussing a minute ago. He walks in the door and he's like, "Hey, everybody knows who I am. Doctor Strange, can you reverse that?" Or I don't know if they go back in time or if he just makes everybody forget it, but can you reverse that? Change it where everybody doesn't know who I am anymore. And he's just like, sure. I mean, maybe there's more that transpires between now and then, but that seems like a really big fucking thing for Doctor Strange being what do they call him, the Sorcerer Supreme or whatever.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the best of us and everything else,
and he's just like no problem.
Controlling the time stone. He's like, yeah, man, it's Friday night. Hell yeah, get some pizza and reverse time.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the whole time stone thing and all that really played a lot into his character in his movie, and in he was supposed to like learn that lesson from like his actual movie, his first movie, and also of course with Endgame. And it's like, did he like not learn any lesson? He's just like fucking with time and space, and it's just he's sure no problem. I mean,
that was like the big character development was, he can do anything. He was the surgeon. He's got the power. He's a Sorcerer Supreme. But part of the responsibility was when not to use it. And at the end, he's seen all the damage he caused, and he was warned not to do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, he's just like, hey, sure. I feel like he would look at it and be like, look, man, I know this sucks that they all know, but you're going to make it through it. I don't really feel like this really warrants me putting this spell on the entire world.
I could find you a lawyer, the judge,
yeah,
or we could just reset the multiverse. I mean,
fuck it, why not?
Which is easier?
And he clearly knows about the multiverse because in the trailer he says our knowledge of the multiverse is extremely limited. And I'm like, so it's not like you did this not knowing that this kind of fucking thing could happen. You did it and you knew it was a possibility and it happened. I feel like knowing that possibility, you'd be like, yeah, buddy, it's more complicated than that. Can't do that. But
yeah, it's like this takes place after the whole Thanos snap, as far as I understand. So it's like, hey, we just seen half of all life in the universe get destroyed, but hey, Bucko,
let's fuck with it some more. Why not? But
it's like, yeah.
And maybe once again we're looking at a teaser trailer, so maybe there's more that transfer. Maybe he asks him, and he's like, nah, maybe he does say all these things, and there's something that compels him to do it. Obviously, something compels him to do it, but I just feel like
I'm calling it now. They'll do this whole thing, and it's a Sorcerer Supreme teaching lesson to Peter, and at the end he'll be like, "See what damage you've caused. Now I have to fix it back, and now you understand the lesson."
yeah, something like that. I know his whole movie's going to involve what do they call it? The multiverse of madness. I think that's what his movie's called. So it's going to have everything to do with that multiverse shit too. So speaking of the multiverse, I feel like, and I know I touched on this a few minutes ago, I feel like this whole multiverse angle that they're going with, I just feel like they're going to use it to, like,
explain away any inconveniences.
Yeah,
really see fit.
Yeah, but not just even that, but yes, absolutely that. But I think that what they're going to try and do,
that's how the Hulk's going to change from the actors back in the early 2000s.
I feel like they're going to use it for two things. At first, I feel like they're going to use it to play totally on nostalgia. Like they're doing this movie. It's got Doc Ock. It's got the old Spider-Man, all that stuff. They're going to play on this fan service and nostalgia a lot, which everything in this trailer looked cool, but when I start thinking about it, I was like, fan service is cool, but when it's nothing but fan service, it's kind of like, okay, too much. I need some substance too. So I think they're going to do that at first, but then what I think they're going to do, because they've already gone on the record and said that they have no intention of having these like decade-long stories that take place to have, like they did with the first few phases, where they have like these huge overarching stories that lead to like a movie, an end game again. They want to do that, but they want to do it in shorter periods of time. In other words, make more money quicker. And I feel like
they've seen the complications of having all the actors sign for multi-year contracts and increasing wages, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna bounce around, and anytime an actor changes, it's a multiverse change.
But that's what made those movies good. That's what made us so invested in the MCU leading up to Endgame, was that we had spent all this time, overtime, building to this thing. I don't feel like you're going to get the same punch, same bang for your buck, in my opinion, if you just do it over the course of like 2 or 3 years or something like that, or like one phase, and they're going to have this big Endgame-esque ending. I mean, people might flock to it, but it feels like they've gotten kind of lazy in that department, in my opinion. I feel like they're going to use, instead of taking the time to build these characters and build these stories and all this, they're going to use the multiverse to just introduce people and be like, hey, this is that person, they can do this, that, and the other, and they're just here now. We don't have to see them grow and become like great characters because they just exist now. We don't have to see it because they already existed, but because of the multiverse, now they're here. And I feel like that's kind of lazy. I hope that's not what they do, but I'm afraid they are. But once again, I don't have a ton of faith in Marvel anymore. So that's my
the whole comic industry as a whole is just suffering a lot of problems. And hopefully it don't come out in the movies too bad.
Well, also, speaking of time and changing things and big, huge changes like that, that definitely, whether they go back in time here or not, they're definitely doing things that would change time, if nothing else moving forward. Did you see Loki, the show?
No, I wanted to, but I ain't never had the chance to sit down and watch it. I
I
like Loki's character because I liked when he got the time cube or whatever and was warped out on the end game.
Well,
like, yeah, we can't kill him.
And that's where Loki the show picks up right there. When he steps, he goes into that portal. It starts where he drops in, and ultimately, quick synopsis: the Loki show is about he is dropped into this place, and he's like on a beach or something, I think, and then like these people come out of these time portal or doors, and it's the TVA. They're the time police, pretty much, time cops, and they show up and they take him. And they say he's a variant, and because of something he did, yeah, because of what he did, it splintered the timeline. So when you splinter the timeline,
this is great.
When you splinter the timeline, you have multiple variants of yourself, and their job in the TVA is there's a main timeline is to keep that timeline, cool. People can do different things, but if you do something too crazy, they got to go and erase that part and keep everything on track. And he, seeing as how he stepped out, he was supposed to die in Endgame, so he is now a variant. But they're using him because there's another Loki variant that's out there, like causing a lot of havoc. And they're using this variant to find the other variant. It's got Owen Wilson, which is actually really good in it, and they end up getting to a new big MCU or Marvel bad guy in the end. I don't want to ruin it for those of you who haven't seen it, but they get to a new big bad, possibly the new Thanos-esque character, not like Thanos, but the new big bad guy like that. They come to the end, and the timeline is, it goes to shit. I don't think that's really spoiling anything. In the end, it just splinters all to fucking hell, and that's how the show ends. My question is, when does this movie take place? Does it take place after that event? Does it take, because they're both in the MCU, so does it take place after that event or during that event? It can't take place before it, because I feel like if it took place before it, the TVA would show up immediately and be like, you, Dr. Because they are all powerful, the TVA. Like, your superpowers and all that mean no fucks to them. They put these dampening things on you. They are prepared for all that shit.
Where did this technology come from?
Aliens.
Oh, okay.
It shows them.
Everything.
Well, kind of. It actually does. It is aliens and it isn't. You find that out. You find out where it all came from in the end of the show. I don't want to ruin it because it is like a big reveal, and it is going to have repercussions later on in the cinematic universe too. This particular character who shows up, but yeah, the whole more or less aliens is where they got this technology and all that, and they're at the end of time. They go to the end of time. It's kind of like Doctor Who. It's very. That's what Loki was a very.
Wobbly, timey-wimey.
It is very Doctor Who. Like, being a Doctor Who fan myself, that's probably why I gravitated towards that show so much. It is a very Doctor Who-esque show, so that's why I liked it. I think you really like it too. It was absolutely far and beyond the best of those 3 MCU shows we've gotten so far. I haven't seen What If. They're not all done yet. But those are kind of like, one-shots anyway. But these 3 shows that are part of the MCU and have ramifications within the MCU, that was the best one by far, in my opinion, and had the biggest ramifications. But my question is if it takes place before, it could not possibly take place before Loki, because they would have shown the fuck up and been like, nope. And, I mean, what are the chances that this just happened to take place right at the exact same time as all that? That Doctor Strange is splintering things while everything else is splintering. There's a whole lot of fucking splintering going on, like, conveniently at the same time. But
well, I hope they're just very careful with it, because once you get into multiverses and combine with time travel, all bets are off. I mean, anything can happen. Anyone can show up. Anything can be fixed. I mean, you done seen what they did in Endgame. They went back and fought the original Thanos before he got all the stones.
Yeah.
And then
you
got that going on. And then now you got the time police. And Loki causing problems. And then you got the multiverse of Doctor Strange. So now pretty much it can go anywhere. You got to be careful not getting in an area where your story falls apart with inconsistencies.
Well, that's the other thing is, like, what is their, no pun intended, end game here? Where are they going? It seems like there's all these starts to this overarching story of the MCU, because that's why the MCU has been popular. Let's be real. Everybody likes to talk about the movies and how they're this and they're that, and I enjoy the movies as they've gone on in the years. I've thought a little bit less, especially here in the past few years. I've thought they've been kind of declining in quality and originality. And there's cool things in them, but what has always kind of like made them so popular is because they are, at least loosely in some cases, interconnected. They tell a greater story. It's almost like a really, really long TV show. I mean, they kind of do have a TV show kind of setup. Each movie is an episode, in this really long TV show. And I just don't, while, yeah, you see that these are all connected, all these new things, the Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, the shows and all that, you see that they're connected in the same universe. I don't really see a story moving forward. I guess it all seems like they're all starting a story, but when the fuck is this story going to get started and it's going to go?
Well, I'll come from a positive perspective. I'll say maybe it's wiping the slate clean. Now you can do anywhere and go anyway, and now maybe they're going to break it and fracture it in all these segments, and the next movies will be all about putting everything back together to have a coherent time stream again. That would be cool. That would be something.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah, now I don't know if they're that smart or what they're planning, but yeah, it could be something they do. You got all the fragments, you got to put the mirror back together.
Well, I think part of the problem also is that they don't have pre-Endgame, when you thought of the MCU, you thought of Iron Man, Thor to a degree, especially after Ragnarok, Captain America, things like
Yeah, they really well defined the characters. You know who was who.
Yeah, you had
and
staples.
What they were there to do.
There's no staple. There's no
Yeah.
Iron Man. There's no Captain America. I mean, yeah, the Falcon now is Captain America, but I mean, it's not the same yet. I mean, maybe it will be, but there is no Iron Man. There is no staple characters. It's just like a whole bunch of other characters, and we've got these people saying, "Oh, I want him to do this. I want him to do that," and all that. That's great, but where's our anchor? Where's our Iron Man? And I don't mean exactly an Iron Man, which I think that they take that kind of thing literally, and they're going to end up having another Iron Man or a Iron Lad or a Iron Woman or an Iron Person. I don't mean necessarily an Iron Man character. I mean, who is that character? Who is that rock? Where is your center of this universe? They don't have that. Everything, even though they're all connected, it all just seems kind of messy and fractured at this point. They need something to pull it all together.
Well, I think that's the whole push for the Spider-Man to become kind of the center, because he's the direct line from Iron Man, and he's got the technology. So it's kind of, that's kind of going to be your center from the Iron Man to Spider-Man, kind of passing the torch, because he's a genius, built all his stuff for his suit, and then he has all the Iron Man technology built into his suit. So
Yeah.
they can also use that, bring back Pepper, and that way, they'll have them. They got the Pepper, Spider-Man, and they can build from there. And Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So they can start building on that.
I mean, and they might, but I think that they're probably hesitant with Spider-Man because it's not owned by them, and they already do. They have kind of a shaky relationship with Sony right now, so they don't really know, is Spider-Man going to be there in 2 years. That's the thing, because they came real damn close to losing him outright over the last summer. So I mean, that could happen again, and I don't even know what their picture deal is at this point. If they have a set in stone, he'll be with you this many movies. I know they have this one, and at one point what it was going to be, and it may still be, but I know at one point what it was is they said, okay, we'll make like 1 or 2 more movies to kind of give this character within that universe a send off of sorts, or at least not just end it kind of on a cliffhanger, but but after that we're done. I don't know if that's where they stand now or not. So I don't know. I'm with you. I think the Spider-Man could be that center, but I don't know if they're going to invest that in him because they don't know. They don't own him. They want to own him, but Sony's like, fuck you. We're not selling Spider-Man. He's ours.
Pretty much, at this point, that leaves Black Widow and Doctor Strange as the 2 they're working with, throwing Shang-Chi in the mix.
Black Widow's dead.
What's that?
And Black Widow's dead. I mean, they got that one chick.
Yeah.
She's going to take over her spot, I'm sure, but...
and I don't know if they're going to do anything with Captain Marvel. I don't know if they got any plans for any more of those.
Let's hope not. I mean, they do have a sequel coming called I think it's called The Marvels now. It was going to be Captain Marvel 2. Now they just call it The Marvels. And she's in it, but I think they've been saying that they've been like pushing her more and more to the back burner, supposedly. I mean, who knows?
So that leaves us with one original character at this point, Doctor Strange, that they own total control with.
I mean, you got the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're still out there, but really, how long are they going to... Because James Gunn said he's making the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's done with the MCU. And a lot of those actors, like Dave Bautista, especially Dave Bautista, he's a big James Gunn fan, because he was pretty much saying, I'm not going to do Guardians 3 if he don't come back. And Chris Pratt, and I don't know about the others, if they're as invested, they all kind of rally behind him, but... I feel like when he leaves, they might kind of be like, we're kind of done too. So
at this point, I need to look up the friggin' plot line, the movie line of what they're wanting to do to try to figure out some coherence to what their mess is.
See, I don't think that they know, or maybe they have a plan. I don't know, but I feel like
they're doing it live. They're making it up as they go.
Yeah, and I think that because what they want to do, like I said, is they want to like make these shorter epic stories instead of the long one, but that why you fucking with you're fixing something that's not broke. What made you big was because you did concentrate on these smaller stories into this bigger narrative over a long period of time. People just aren't going to get as invested in such a short amount of time. But I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of I'm with you.
There's a new Thor coming out, so that's something they can work with.
Yeah, but even in that one, they're saying that Natalie Portman is coming back and she's going to take over as Thor now. In that movie at some point, supposedly she's going to become, it's called Thor Love and Thunder. She's apparently going to become Thor. I don't know how true that is. That's just what they're saying.
Alrighty then.
No idea if there's any truth to that whatsoever. But anywho, we don't know.
Just
But
winging it at this point. Like, yeah, let's do this.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. The multiverse just seems there's. Maybe they'll pull it all together. Maybe they'll. I don't. I'll give it until after the Multiverse of Madness with the next Doctor Strange movie. By that point, we would have had Spider-Man, the Eternals, and Doctor Strange, and I think there's another one in there somewhere. But we would have had a few more. I would have seen Shang-Chi by that point. We would have had enough new age Marvel movies that I'd be able to make an actual assessment to whether this is going somewhere or not. By the time Multiverse of Madness comes around and by the time those credits roll, if I don't have an idea at least of some type of overarching story or something going on here, I'm going to say that they don't fucking know what they're doing. I don't know. But
Yeah,
that's
because
my
if the Eternals are coming out of the woodwork, they're the ones that, can control the flow of everything.
supposedly.
So, yeah, exactly. It's like half of life in the universe disappearing wasn't enough to make them, show up. But then finally, when they stopped Thanos, they're like, oh, well, I guess we should go introduce ourselves.
Yeah. Now, granted, I mean, when that first trailer, I mentioned this earlier, but when that first trailer came out, I was like, what the fuck is this horse shit? But then the last trailer that came out, like last week, I think, that was actually better. I did look at it and I was like, okay, this is better. I'm still not hyped for it, but it at least looks better than that other one. But I'll see it once again. I mean, that's what I do. I review movies online, but I can't say that I'm excited to see it. I'm not excited for it. I'm excited for. I'm more excited now for this movie just to see all the fan service. I'm just curious as to, if it's going to be too much. And I'm excited for Doctor Strange. But beyond that, MCU as a whole, I'm just kind of like, whatever. But that's the multiverse. What do you...
At least on the plus side, we still got Ghostbusters, Dune, and Halloween to look forward to, and Candyman.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Hopefully Candyman's good.
We won't be lacking for good stuff.
Now, concerning all these people that will be coming back, supposedly, some of which we know are for sure now after this trailer, such as Doc Ock, it is all but confirmed that Willem Dafoe is coming back as Green Goblin because he throws his little thing and you hear him laughing in the background, unless that's like an after credits sequence or something. And who else did it? I think that's all it really 100% confirmed, but it is all but like everybody, it's so out there that all like Jamie Foxx and Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and all these other Spider-Men, and everybody's coming back. And my question is because all of these people, with the exception of maybe Andrew Garfield, still pretty much looks the same. Jamie Foxx kind of doesn't age. Willem Dafoe, he was older, not old, but he kind of looks more or less the same as he did when he was in the original Spider-Man. He could pull it off. But all the other characters, such as Tobey Maguire, I mean, Tobey Maguire doesn't look bad. Yeah, he's verging on 50. He's on his way to 50. He's like in his late 40s now. He's a little bit older than me. So, I mean, are they going to de-age? That Doc Ock that they showed in the trailer clearly had some de-aging going on. So my question is, are they going to de-age all these characters, or are they going to be like older versions of themselves? I mean, and what should they do? Should they have because even though Marvel does do a really good job with their de-aging, I gotta give them that. In the movies here recently, with like Ant-Man, with like not Kurt Russell. Was that Kurt Russell? Kurt Douglas. With Kurt Douglas and Ant-Man, they de-aged him really well in the beginning. They had Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. He was de-aged. Samuel L. Jackson and Captain Marvel. They do a really damn good job with it. But holy shit, do you want half your cast to be de-aged? And at some point, will it start to look... Because I ain't going to lie, that Doc Ock, while I recognize the character and I was happy to see him because he is from probably, in my opinion, not probably, the best Spider-Man movie ever made, Spider-Man 2. He's clearly, there's some CGI going there. When you saw his face, I was like, that's de-aged. Maybe it'll look different later, but Alfred Molina, who played that character, has been very much de-aged. So I'm wondering, he will be, but what about these other ones? Do you think that they should stick with? Do you think they should just have like older versions of them, or that they should de-age all of them?
It would probably be easier just to be like, hey, we're timeline's off a few years from yours, and that explains everything. We're nice, save the budget,
Well, I mean, I think it would work if they showed up with like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man because it's supposed to be a different universe. So in that universe, he could be older, and I think it would make sense if he showed up as like, hey, like in Into the Spider-Verse. They had Peter Parker come back, who was kind of like the guy who was like in the sweatpants and stuff like that. Like, that worked. It was an older Spider-Man, older Peter Parker, who had already like I think he had been married to Mary Jane, and they had gotten divorced or something like that, or whatever. It worked.
Oh yeah.
Why not have
really
that?
Good.
Why not
There should
have
be more
that?
stuff like that. Just, I mean, that should be just wrote into the script. Like, okay, these actors are older. We need to explain. There's a few years difference between different multiverses. Some people are older. You could be 30 talking to your 50-year-old version of yourself.
Yeah, see, that could actually be cool, because just like he did Into the Spider-Verse, he could actually, because this Peter Parker is supposed to be younger, he could be like learning something from his older versions of himself that are from another world. I think that could be a neat dynamic. I don't think they're going to do that.
Character development is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I am curious as to know, is half the cast going to be de-aged, or are they going to show up as... I hope they do the older versions. Obviously with Doc Ock they're not, but I hope they are with some of the other ones. Also, a character that is kind of... I think this one's kind of the Sandman. Some people are saying Sandman's in it, and some people are saying Venom, because they say you can barely see Venom in one scene. I don't know about that. I don't know if I totally believe that Sandman is... Maybe, okay, I could see that one. But the Venom... Because I would be hard-pressed to think they would bring another Venom back when they have another Venom movie coming out this year, right around the same time as this one. The new Venom, Let There Be Carnage, is coming out. I feel like they would have Tom Hardy's Venom come back if they were going to do that, but that's not... I don't think... That's not the same universe. Or it's never alluded to it being... Spider-Man is apparently in his universe, but not this Spider-Man.
The whole Venom thing, it don't follow, as far as I know, anything from the early comics at all. It seems to be its own thing unto itself.
No, it does. It does not.
Because, I mean, the whole Venom costume goes back to the Secret Wars back in the 80s, and that was what Peter Parker got as a reward for participating in the Secret Wars, and that had Doctor Strange in it. So maybe this might be building up to a Secret Wars type deal, but then they've kind of already shot their wall with the Venom symbiote costume. But yeah, he got that, and of course, the story, it bonds to him and makes him bad, so he has to separate. And Venom hates Spider-Man after that, bonds with Brock, and then it goes from there. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the Venom one is kind of just people wanting to see that team up again, or done right. I think that was wishful thinking. I don't think Venom's going to show up in this movie. I mean, I could be wrong. Who knows? I mean, you never know.
Just a cameo, like he's flying through and he sees Venom in another building, and Venom jumps down, runs down the other side of the building or something. Something.
Maybe a post-credit scene or something like that. I could maybe see that, but if they do that, that means they're committing to Venom being part of this universe at that point. And right now, the Sony Venom and Morbius and all that, they are Marvel characters, but they are not connected to the MCU at this point. So I'm wondering, does Sony want to commit to that? Because Sony kind of likes doing their own movie universe thing right now. It's making them money.
Well, I know if they do show Venom, they need to have the Remy cam zoom in on them real close with the brown in the background. And we need to get an Ash cameo too. Even open the door for somebody or something.
I guarantee you that Bruce Campbell, I know it's not this movie, but he'll be in Multiverse of Madness, because Sam Raimi is making Multiverse of Madness, which is one of the main reasons I'm interested in seeing it. But
well, if you got a multiverse, Ash needs to be Ash. He can be straight up saying, yeah, man, I fight the Deadites, and what's going on over here? Oh, you got like crazy Eternals and losing Half-Life universe. I'm going back over here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bruce Campbell's in every one of his movies. He's in all the Spider-Man movies as just a side character, so I guarantee he'll show up. As Ash, probably not, but he'll show up, I'm sure. All right, so the other notes, besides like the shit ton of people that are going to be in it, there is another character that is a lot of people are saying is kind of like, sources are saying is confirmed to be there, which I think is neat, but I don't think they're really going to do anything with it. Once again, I think this is going to be kind of fan service, and that's Matt Murdock, but not just Matt Murdock, not Daredevil so much, but just Matt Murdock, the lawyer, the blind lawyer. They say that that's him in the trailer. I can't turn it on now, but where it's like he's in the police station, and like there's a lawyer or something like putting papers in front of him. They said that's Matt Murdock, and people have said that he is a rumor that he's going to be in it, but not just any Matt Murdock, but the Matt Murdock from the Daredevil Netflix TV show, which was
Yeah, that was actually really good.
yeah, that was probably the best Marvel. I think it's the best Marvel TV show there has been for sure. By far, for me, was that Daredevil show, and I like the other ones that went along with it too. Iron Fist was a little but all the other ones were
Punisher.
really good. But Daredevil was that show or that universe right there is Iron Man, and that it did take place in the MCU. It never talked about it. It was rare. Every now and then they'd reference the Avengers thing that happened in New York. They never said Avengers, but they'd say what happened in New York and stuff like that. So it was part of that universe. It just didn't really. It wasn't as deeply ingrained. But of course, when Disney started Disney Plus, they put the kibosh on any further Netflix Marvel shows, and now they all lost their jobs essentially, and people have been hollering for another Daredevil in that universe for a long time, and they've been saying, "Hey, yeah, we're." People are apparently saying that he's going to make a cameo here. Whether it, turns into anything or not, I don't know, but. I think it'd be neat to see the guy, Charlie
That just
Cox.
goes along with the multiverse. All bets are off. Anything can happen because it can be explained as merging universes, fractures of other things coming through. You can have anyone from anywhere at any time.
Yeah, well, I think his name's Charlie Cox. I think it'd be cool to have him come in and be his lawyer. Does that mean that they're going to get? I don't know. I don't think that they're necessarily going to further that character like that Daredevil. I think that it's just going to be there as fan service, but I think what it's going to do is stoke a fire, and people are going to be like, "Oh, it's happening! See, Daredevil is coming out in X amount of years." I don't think they're going to do it though. Marvel's kind of like, or the MCU does not like taking other people's. I mean, they like taking other people's ideas, but they don't like taking pre-existing cinematic universe characters and furthering them. They like to put their own spin on it.
Be control of everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way they have full say-so and full creative control.
Plus, I mean, Netflix has some say in that. I don't know how much. I don't know who all owns that. Obviously, it's a Marvel character, but that was a Netflix show. So Netflix does have a stake and a say in that version of that character. So they'd have to get some coin pushed their way too. But
yeah. I think it's pretty good. The movie's going to be good, but yeah, they got some issues that need to be worked out, and I hope they're explained to make it more consistent.
Oh, yeah.
With them being a little bit out of character there.
Overall, I mean, looking at this trailer, I mean, yeah, admittedly, it looks like there's the fear that it could be too damn much, and like you said, it loses focus, and it's just like fan service for fan service sake and not much substance, and they're just throwing all these old characters that we really enjoyed all together, so we're like, yeah, fucking hey, but then like you think about it and you're like, I mean, what was really going on in that movie? Did anything really happen, or did I just see a bunch of shit that I liked from the past?
Any stakes about it, or
yeah,
they end up zero sum exactly where they began at the end?
Yeah, I mean, that's a worry, but admittedly, I mean, I can't. It's a teaser trailer. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't judge it based on the trailer. I am more excited for it now than I was initially when I heard because I thought Spider-Man. Did you like Far From Home? And what was the one? What was the first one? Homecoming. Did you like Homecoming and Far From Home?
I've seen Homecoming. I don't think I've seen Far From Home because I've seen the first one where they went on the field trip and everything.
No, wait. The first one is with Vulture. The one where they go on the field trip to Europe with Mysterio. That was Far From Home. That's the second one.
Okay. Yeah, I seen the one with Vulture then.
Okay. Well, I liked him. I liked Tom Holland as Peter Parker. I thought he was a good Peter Parker. And the movies were entertaining, but I never really thought they were like as grand as I wanted them. They were. None of them measured up to Spider-Man 2. That's my bar.
Well, the main problem is Peter Parker, the whole reason he was there to get spiders, he was already going down the science path anyway.
Yeah.
And now they've kind of took some of his thunder with a lot of his tech coming from Tony Stark Industries, when that was originally he made it all himself. That was part of the beauty of,
because he's supposed to be like a genius. That's one thing you gotta give the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 is that character. Think what you will about those movies. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. They did show that he was really smart. He made like the web slingers. He made all his stuff himself, and he did it because he was really smart and he was a genius.
Yeah, because that was what Spider-Man in the comics always outthought his opponents. Yeah, he was strong and everything, but there's people that could body him in a heartbeat, but he'd tank them. There's a whole issue with he fights the Juggernaut, and it's like, well, there ain't much he can do with him besides hit him with some webbing. So he gets the bright idea to lure Juggernaut down to an area where they're building some buildings of fresh concrete and have Juggernaut run off in some concrete and get hardened down there for a while, using his actually noggin, not just brawn.
Yeah, like Batman.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot less money involved, for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Poor college student eating off Franks and Beans.
Franks and Beans.
Beans.
Well, overall, I think this trailer looked good. I thought it was cool. I thought it, it tickled those nostalgic senses, if you will, nostalgic Spidey senses, and I'm interested in seeing it. I am cautiously optimistic.
It's gonna be good. I want to watch it. I just hope they kill off some of those inconsistencies in the actual movie.
Well, that's what I'm worried about, honestly. I don't think this movie's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be Spider-Man 3 bad. I don't think it's going to be like disappointing in the way that it's like made. I think it will be solidly made. I think it'll look good. I think it'll have some rousing moments and all that and some cool stuff. I'm just wondering how much substance is going to have, because that's my problem with the last two Spider-Man movies. I enjoyed them just as movies, just they're entertaining while I watched them, but when I was done with them, that was about it. They didn't really add anything more to the universe, in my opinion. I really liked Tom Holland. I really liked everybody in them for the most part, but the stories were just kind of like, okay, yeah, that happened. That's fine. I mean, I had a good time watching it, but okay, moving on. Nothing really of any. The stakes were there, but they weren't there for the overarching story. I'm wondering, is this one going to have that? Is it going to be that big, rousing Spider-Man that's like, fuck yeah, this is Spider-Man? Or is it just going to be like, okay, cool, this is another episode of The Amazing Spider-Man, Or is it going to be the movie? I want that big, cool thing. Like Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 has stuck with me through the years because it was so damn good. And it had actual stakes. And it just did everything so damn right. That movie is awesome.
Well, it was good to the earlier movies. He was in college in those movies, I believe. These, he's still in high school.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming he is in this one too. He was in the last one, yeah.
So it's kind of like he's still in high school, and he's got such a power boost from the Tony Stark suits and everything. So it's kind of weird to me, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, and I'm sure it will at least be that. So I don't think this movie's gonna be bad. I think it will at least be up to par with the other ones, but I want it to be more. I want it to be more than the other ones. I want it to be Spider-Man that we know, the Spider-Man that we know Spider-Man can be. We'll just see where they go with that. Who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But one thing I did notice about this one over some other things, and I'm not going to get too deep into this, and this is why I saved it as my last point.
Get too deep into this.
Always get deep. But the thing that I noticed that, apart from other, okay, let's just throw it out there. I'm not going to detail it. I'm not going to go too far into it, but Marvel, MCU, Disney as a whole, but especially, well, not especially, but Disney as a whole, and Marvel is included in that, has been accused, rightfully so, especially in the past few years, for being, as they say, woke. Very much so, and well, they've done that quite, and they've done it to themselves. There've been quite a few things in real world that they've done, said, and just some of the things that they've done in their movies have been questionable, and you could definitely look at and say, okay, yeah, that was kind of woke. Now, when you throw out that whole woke thing nowadays, it's like some things are just like in your face too damn much, and then sometimes, admittedly, I think sometimes we expect so much of it nowadays that we find it sometimes when it's not always there. There have been some movies that people have been like, that's just woke, and I'm like, I mean, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, too much, that's fucking woke, that's some bullshit. But then there's some movies I'm like, it wasn't. I mean, it just was, that was fine. But yeah, I think that we are kind of conditioned when we go into some of these movies now that we're looking for it. And I will say that out of all the Marvel properties and characters as of late, this seemed like the least, this trailer at least, seemed the least, I didn't see any wokeness. Like, looking at the trailer, it never once popped out to me and I went, oh, there it is. There's Disney rowing its little head, its little woke head. I didn't see any of that. And I don't know if that's because Sony is the one who's making it. They're involved. And you don't really get a lot of that from Sony, admittedly.
Star Wars put a whole lot of kibosh on that. They've changed a lot of their internal processes because of that whole fiasco.
Yeah.
And the only thing Marvel ever did, I think, that kind of pushed it in advertising and enough to the point where I didn't care to see the movie was Captain Marvel. And it was just like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Next.
I mean, they have had their moments throughout the past few years. That whole thing in the end of Endgame, I have no problem. I love women. I've said that a million times. But that was so forced and shoehorned in. That one, 10-second moment in the end there, when in the middle of that battle, all the female characters got together to have their pose. I didn't even mind that so much. I was just like, it seemed like a reshoot. It seemed like in the middle of this big battle, they broke the tension for a second to have this hero pose of all the female characters. And I was like, I don't mind that they had that, but could you not have worked it in a little bit better than that?
Did Kathleen Kennedy have anything to do with any of that, or is she only on the Star Wars series?
I don't know. I know that. I don't think she. I think that's all Kevin Feige. Or Kevin Feige.
That was that crap that happened. A lot of it was her personal agenda, and that's a lot of that. Just was one person was the rotten apple that spoiled a lot.
I don't know if she has anything to do with Marvel or not. I know that Marvel is mostly Kevin Feige. I know that. But I mean, Marvel is Disney. Disney has their place. But my point was that in looking at this trailer, there wasn't even anything that jumped out at me that said, oh yeah, that could be, or that could. I never once thought it. And that was good, especially nowadays, because you go into so many movies nowadays not knowing what the hell they're about to try and feed you. And then I was like, it was really refreshing. I noticed, you know what? Nothing in that. And Spider-Man never really has. I got to give that to Spider-Man. And once again, I don't know, since Sony does have some control over this, does that have something to do with it? Because if you look at Sony's properties, I mean, I'm sure somebody could throw one out there that would shoot this theory down, but you don't see a lot of that from Sony. Sony's Columbia, their movie studios. You just don't get a lot of that for whatever reason.
It's usually better to make movies that a lot of people enjoy instead of trying to push any kind of agenda, because if it ain't natural, it's going to be seen through very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe they're keeping them in check. Maybe it just never was. Maybe it's all there and I just don't see it yet. Maybe Disney as a whole is maybe starting to tone down on that shit and seeing that this isn't necessarily what people want. I don't know, but I just thought that was kind of refreshing. I was like, hey, that was nice to see an actual trailer for a movie that there was nothing in it that I said could have possibly been that. That was just nothing that fed into current events.
I totally agree with you, because a lot of times when I go back and watch older movies, it's just like a breath of fresh air. It's like, hey, they're just telling a story where the character's on screen and it ain't pushing whatever the hot top button topic is of the day.
Yeah, there's not some current events underlying theme that they're trying to shove in somewhere. I go to movies regardless of if people do or do not agree with these things. I go to movies to escape the real world. That's why they're called escapism.
Yeah, it's like we deal with this stuff 40 plus hours a week at a job, and then every time you turn on the news, it's kind of like, all right, all this off, I just want to put in Ghostbusters from 1986 or whatever. It's like, oh, yeah, so nice.
I don't want to hear about
the new ones.
I don't want to hear about any of this shit.
Yeah, it's like, I can deal with that tomorrow. Phone off, news off. Let's just enjoy this movie.
Yeah. Well, that is Spider-Man. What the hell are they calling this? No Way Home. They got this home thing going. Homecoming, Far From Home. No Way Home. Yeah. That's our thoughts on the trailer. Me, myself, I think you kind of expressed as well, are excited to see this movie. More excited, definitely, than I was.
I like Spider-Man. It's one of my comics I used to read as a kid growing up. I know they're pushing the thing now where they're doing the different stuff, but it's like you've got literally 60 years of stories to pull from. I don't know why sometimes they have to go so far off the mark.
Yeah. I mean, I get that they're trying to do their own thing and all that. They are, and I know that this story, there are parts of it I don't know the stories, but I've heard people One More Day or One Last Day. That's one of the big influences on this story. That's a Spider-Man story that apparently is universally hated, by the way. I saw a thing about that today. They said this is apparently heavily influenced by, at least part of it, by that story of redoing things where people don't know who he is, and he loses Mary Jane because of it, and all these people that knew about who he was. It's kind of like the same thing that we saw in the trailer, but apparently a lot of people dislike that particular comic, but they're using it, so Hope they do it better than the comic did.
I like to see an adaptation of one of the storylines from a long time ago where his mutation or the spider bite got unstable and he started growing extra arms until he started becoming an actual spider. And that was great.
I heard about that. Like he actually got legs and stuff, right?
Yeah,
extra
he got
legs.
like 6 arms and all this. It was pretty great.
Yeah, that'd be maybe a what if episode or something.
Dude, what if comics back in the day were great, man. Because they had so much good stuff, all kind of different stories. There was one I loved. What if the Hulk had killed Wolverine? Back, and it was just really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, I've heard of the. Yeah, I've seen those, and they got like Old Man Logan too. I think isn't the Hulk's in Old Man
Logan's once again multiverse. Old Man Logan is actually from a different multiverse, and in our Earth 1 or Earth Prime, whatever they're calling it this way, Logan actually died temporarily, and they got Old Man Logan from another dimension, and he come over here for a while.
Well, I know in like the Old Man Logan comic, which the movie Logan was somewhat based on, it's like post-apocalyptic, and like the Hulk had some kids, and his kids are out there like Mad Max in it and killing people and stuff.
Yeah, they were a product of incest and
some crazy shit.
Yeah, and then the Hulk was pretty much cannibalistic, and I mean it was just bat crazy insane, and really good stuff. But a lot of that probably wouldn't adapt well to the movies. People wouldn't know where it's coming from out of left field.
I would have loved it.
No, I would have loved it. But yeah, the whole Wolverine dying storyline was just absolutely awesome. And so nobody would get his body actually encased in adamantium to hide his body, so nobody could get to it.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. In the movie, they just buried him in the ground.
No, I know. But in the comic, they hid his body in adamantium so nobody could get to it, which I always think is great. It's unbreakable metal, but we can melt it. So it's like, okay. But they said you can only melt it once, so I don't know how the hell that works.
I don't know, but... well, yeah, Spider-Man, looking good. I guess the only other thing I've got today before we get out of here is there are releases. There's no releases in the middle of the week, which is kind of becoming a common theme this summer. But this Friday, August 27th, the big movie this week is Candyman, which I will be watching then. Go check that out. I don't know if that's VOD and theaters. Obviously, it's theaters. I don't know if that's on VOD too. I think it is. I could be wrong, but check out Candyman. It actually looks pretty good. I have some concerns about it. We'll see. Also, Together, I don't know what that is. Have no idea. Never even heard of it. And The Colony, which actually I had an early screener of that because that came out somewhere overseas earlier this year, and I've already done a review of that. It's also known as Tides. I think it's called Tides is its European name. But yeah, that was actually a pretty neat movie. Didn't like the ending of it, but it was an interesting movie. So if you guys have an opportunity to check out The Colony, check out my review and check out that movie as well. And check out Candyman. Together, I don't know if any of you guys see that movie and think it's good, let me know in the comments to check it out. I might click on it. And next week we get another Mortal Kombat movie, by the way. I know I'm getting ahead of myself just a little bit, but we have the sequel to Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. It's called Battle of the Realms. I will be reviewing that. I'm supposed to be getting a preview copy a few days before it comes out, so hopefully I can have that review by the time it comes out on the 31st. And that is about it. That's all I've got. I know we talked about you, Alvin. You got anything you want to plug away or say about yourself? Tell people where to find you, what you do, what your thing is. I know that you don't have as much of a YouTube presence as some of my other guests have, but you have, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, stays hidden away. I work in the background more than anything.
Yeah. Alvin is a very talented musical musician, I guess. We'll call you that. Musician.
I make noise with banking on instruments is what I call it.
Yeah, so if any of you guys are looking for music for something, definitely shoot him a message, talk to him. He's over on... You're not on Twitter, right? You are. I know you're on Facebook and everything else, but you're not on Twitter. Am I right?
I think I got an account there, but I don't ever check it. I mean, I mainly Facebook, email, and then YouTube and Twitch is mainly what I go through. And I actually streamed for the first time in about a year last week on Hitman. So
I know you love
pretty
Hitman.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check out Alvin's. I think you're Alvin Mason under everything. So check out Alvin's Twitch channel. Check out him on Facebook. And if you're looking for some music, contract him to make some music for you. He does a really good job of that. But me, I don't have in front of me because I was woefully underprepared for this week's show. What reviews I have coming this week? I know that I have Friday the 13th Part 3 coming on Friday. I have the next in my comic book movie review series will not be on Wednesday this week. It will be on Thursday. Instead of Wednesday, it's one day delayed. It is the first. It's just a straight up porno. It's a comic book movie, an official comic book movie that was a straight up porn, and I watched that. That will be on Thursday, and Candyman. I don't know, some other stuff. I've got some other movies lined up that I'll be doing.
You're up to Friday the 13th Part 3.
Yeah, that's Friday. This Friday I'll be doing Part 3.
So it's 8/24. That's 9/10. That's 8 more movies. If you time it right, we can end with Jason X right on Halloween night.
Oh, it is. That's how I worked it out to where every Friday I'll do one until the Friday before Halloween. And actually, the last one will be the reboot.
Halloween falls on a
Sunday, I think.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would be cool to do a Saturday night review or stream of that. On Saturday, right at midnight, and it'd be the Halloween.
It'll actually be Jason X will come a little bit before because I'm doing all of them, including the reboot. The reboot's the last one, so that'll be the day before. Well, 2 days before Halloween. That'll be fun.
I love the reboot. They did a really good job on it, but I just can't stand Sam Winchester in there. I keep expecting him to be like, "Hey, I'm about to call my brother."
Jared
Take
Padalecki.
care of this. Yes. What the hell's Padalecki?
But yeah, I got that one, and before that one, there's Freddy versus Jason, and then Jason X before that one. So Jason X will be, I guess, 3 weeks before Halloween. Yeah, I worked them out.
We're gonna have to start doing reviews of the comment section because it's getting a little hairy down there.
Oh yeah, we're about to jump into that, but yeah, guys, that's.
I don't know if you want to jump. I don't know if you want to do that, do we?
I'm sure I do.
Looking through this now.
That's all I got this week, guys, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is a little bit different show than usual. Just wasn't much to talk about except for that one trailer, but check out the podcast and all the regular places, audio places. It's everywhere you can get audio podcasts, and of course right here. Next week should be a more conventional show. Actually, in fact, I know it will be. Well, kind of, sort of. We're going to have a topic to discuss next week as well, that topic being Candyman. I have another guest coming on who...
I go back to the basement next week.
My other guest is a YouTube horror movie YouTube community. I don't know what the hell they call it, but that's what he does. He reviews horror movies on YouTube, so that'll be fun. But yeah, that's all I got. So before we get out of here, though, let's jump over here at the comments and see what you guys have been saying since we had our little breakdown there. I don't even know where you left off last time.
Let's see. We were right around the break, so it was nice. Candyman, you should make Sony say it 5 times.
Oh yeah.
Short and Sweet was asking about Candyman. Antonio asked everybody how they're doing.
Hey, what's up, Antonio?
Emporium said yes.
Oh no, keep on going. I think you're reading what I was reading.
Short and Sweet was answering. Melvin Emporium was answering Short and Sweet. I liked half of it, but the second half really suffers. People are really confused what's going on.
Oh no.
That sucks. Oh God. Antonio was asking who got to see it early. He's excited for it. I am as well. Tony Todd better be in there.
Hey, Nick, since I know you saw it tonight, if you're still in here, and you're the one who just saw it, I heard that Tony Todd is, you don't have to tell me what or who, but I mean, that's been like, they said that Tony Todd is in it for sure, but then some people are saying, no, he's not in it. Is he in it? Just tell me that. Is Tony Todd in the movie?
I hope he's playing a Moore guy and it ties into the Final Destination series and they have a crossover.
Yes.
Where the death uses in Candyman to kill people that survived. Let's see. I'll be honest, my opinion is different from a lot of people, so still look forward to it, especially if you like Candyman. That's cool from Emporium. Antonio's like, perfect. Yeah, I too have a different opinion on movies. I just love the first one so much. Yeah, the originals are great.
Yes.
It traumatized me as a child.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, that movie, like I said, I told you earlier, Walmart didn't make enough night lights back then. Movie Emporium said, I think it's funny Spider-Man Raimi edition is in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man, and it has Doctor Strange, and here Raimi is directing Doctor Strange too. It's crazy. Maybe we're in a multiverse and we don't know that all of the people or directors are just changing movies.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I thought of that too, Nick. Is it just Sam Raimi's getting? Is Sam Raimi going to be the new big MCU director? Is he going to do more after Doctor Strange? We'll see.
Well, hopefully somewhere in here he talks in Evil Dead Part 4. And we're not talking about that other one. Movie Emporium. Yeah, I agree. It was horrifying as a kid. Yes, it was. If anybody remembers the bee scene, and I think it was Part 3, that was great. Or was that Part 2?
Or was that Wicker Man?
Oh, yeah,
I love my eyes.
It's like, not the bees, not the bees. One of my favorites. Antonio Sanders said, I saw the first one, The Big Bro and Sis in 92 and never recovered. I refuse to go to the bathroom at night. That might be a problem as it gets older. Let's see. Antonio Sanders probably turned me into a bedwet or something, that movie. Well, they get pads for that. Let's see. That's me in Suburbia. I like when Michael Myers is going to kill me. Yes, Michael Myers is good. Let's see. Antonio Center says, you might as well go out and investigate a strange noise or something. Yeah, so be sure to tell him you'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yes. Marvel Movie Emporium said, the story is about the terror in the multiverse and how Doctor Strange needs to fix things. Well, he needs to fix a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what his movie, the multiverse, in the multi-madness verse, whatever it's called, Doctor Strange Part 2. That's what it's going to be about. Is him and I think what's the Elizabeth Olsen character they made the movie? Wanda,
yeah.
Scarlet Witch.
Man. And Tilda Swinton's the one that plays the original Sorcerer Supreme with the bald head in the first Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be in this new one because they made this big deal about whitewashing or something, and they didn't want her in it anymore.
Yeah, next. Anyway, and it's like, she did great. She's a great actress, and I watched the movie with her recently that I thought was absolutely wonderful. Last Lovers Left Alive. That was great.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my God, it is great. And Movie Emporium said, to be fair, I lived next to a graveyard growing up, so strange noises were a common occurrence.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
But bonus question, anybody in the chat knows the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery? That's a good one to look up. Lately, I've been wanting to visit famous folks' graves and just pay my respects. There are a lot of channels that do with that I've noticed.
Really?
Yeah, just be respectful. Yeah, just be respectful. I highly recommend doing that. It's really cool, but very, very respectful. Some people really frown on visiting graves, and especially if you try walking over them and stuff. A lot of people don't think of that, but some people get really hot-headed about that. And let's see, Movie Emporium. Hey, we got Thor coming back to bring some love and thunder.
Love and thunder.
I know that's right by Short and Sweet. Too bad Venom and Morbius are pushed back.
Was Venom was pushed back like a week? Was it pushed back more than that week? I know it was pushed back a week, but was it more? Is it not coming out this year now?
And I'm gonna be honest. So far the Morbius trailer I've seen, I don't know. Maybe I was in a bad mood today. It did nothing for me.
Oh, me neither. I mean, who knows? It might be okay.
I didn't even think it was a Morbius movie when I seen the trailer. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that Love and Thunder. Swart and Sweet said, I must be dreaming Corey is here, and King Negor showed up.
Well, that's Corey.
Alrighty, this is where it gets hairy. We might have to go. Go crazy here. King Negor says, when nightfall comes, I rise up to check if y'all are being good. And then Swart and Sweet says, I have to confess, I've been so bad, I'm gonna have to be punished severely.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry, we have plenty of movies for that.
Get the whips ready.
I can definitely strap you down in a chair like freaking put some drops in your eyes and make you watch the punishing movies. King Nigor, I seen wipes and was like, oof, it's a mess. I have no idea what that's referring to. Maybe I don't want to know. and then Movie Emporium come in. Venom is most likely pushed back to January 2022. Morbius is apparently garbage because they knocked it to be determined. Oh, it's going to be Alan Smithy extreme there, ain't it?
Oh, shit. Really? Venom's not coming out this year now? I was actually starting to look forward to Venom because I thought the first Venom was okay. I didn't think it was as great as a lot of people did, but I thought it was all right. But the people they got behind the camera making this one, and like Woody Harrelson and all that, I thought this one it looked really good. They got, what the hell's the director's name? Schmeagol, the guy who played Schmeagol. Andy Serkis, he's directing it. So if nothing else, you know it's going to look good. The guy knows special effects, but I was looking forward to Venom: Let There Be Carnage. That sucks. I feel like the reason they pushed it. Well, I was not surprised to hear that any movie made by Sony, was pushed beyond January 1st, 2022, because everything that comes out from Sony after January 2022, January 1st, Netflix has first dibs on streaming when it comes out. They signed a deal with them earlier this year. I did a story on it. So I always said that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Spider-Man and Venom get pushed back beyond next year. I don't think Spider-Man is now. I mean, December 17th is pretty damn close to the end of the year, but I think it's kind of set in stone. I don't think Marvel wants that happening because right now it would go to Disney Plus, but if it crosses that December 31st, if it goes beyond December 31st for whatever reason, Netflix gets it, and then Disney Plus can't even have their Marvel movie on their platform.
Nice. That sounds pretty good. Movie Emporium just brought up Matrix 4 is now called The Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know. What's the game plan for Matrix 4? I've been hearing rumors about it, but I ain't heard much concrete.
That's the thing. We know people that are going to be in it. I know like Neil Patrick Harris is in it. There's a few people we've seen that are in it. I know Lawrence Fishburne apparently is not in it, but everybody else is. That was kind of weird that everybody else was asked to come back, or a lot of the main characters were asked to come back, but not him. Not both of the Wachowskis. Well, I don't know. They're both women now. They were brothers when the first Matrix came out, but over the years they transitioned to women. Now they're both women, I guess. So they called them the Wachowski siblings for a long time. But now it's just Lana, which used to be Larry. Lana Wachowski is the only one directing it. The other Wachowski sibling doesn't have a part in it apparently. I don't think there's any bad blood or anything. It's just the other sibling didn't want to make it for whatever reason. So I don't know. It's already done filming. They've been done. So
I mean, it had a pretty complete ending with part 3. I don't know why you want to resurrect that, because it's like there's always problems with movies. You can't capture that feel. Things have changed. People have changed. A lot of times when you've had a good ending and then you try to resurrect a series 20 years later, it just does not go well.
I know that they are supposedly changing the way that they're shooting it, and they're also changing like the lighting, how they do the lighting, which some people are like, so what? My issue with that is the Matrix, the whole entire series, always had a very distinct look. Like when you're inside the Matrix, it looked, even if it was like nasty and gross and like decrepit, it looked fake. Had a green hue over everything. Everything looked, even the destruction looked a little too clean. And I thought that was a really neat effect they had, and that all had to do with the lighting and how they lit it. That all had to do with the way that they shot it, and they're shooting, I don't know if they're still going for that, but they're shooting it differently now, like a lot of natural light and stuff. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with movies using natural light, but the Matrix is supposed to look artificial. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the Matrix is supposed to look artificial, and then Zion, they hinted around. I don't know if they ever come out and stated directly, but they kind of put a lot of hints in the movie that Zion was just another Matrix level of control. And it's like, you're not really sure, you know, because it's like he had his powers even in the real world. So it's like, okay, was that just another level? And is there a level below the Matrix?
No.
Because they had the train station. So it's kind of like, yeah. And then so it's kind of weird.
Well, it's supposed to come out this year still, around Christmas time. I don't know if it has an exact release date yet or not, but I know it's still supposed to come out this year. I see that Naked Movie Emporium just said the trailer may release when Dune comes. I could see that because they're both WB properties, and if it's coming out this year, they need to get a trailer out so that, because a lot of people, I think, other than people that have their ear to the ground, a lot of people don't even know that they're making another Matrix movie.
Don't worry, somebody will leak it at midnight. Here you go. Here's your trailer. You asked for it. I'll give you. Receive.
I've always liked the Matrix. I love the first one, and I even have. I can't say I love the sequels, but I like the sequels. I see their issues, but I still enjoy them on some levels. I know a lot of people hate on them, but that car chase scene in the second one, the chateau fight, the car chase scene, it's like some of the best 30 minutes in action movie history right there. I mean, say what you will about the rest of the movie.
They showed more Cadillacs in that 30 minutes than anywhere ever.
Yeah, that was an awesome scene there. But I'm looking forward to the Matrix 4 Resurrections or whatever they're going to call it. I don't know, but
so far we got Matrix, Ghostbusters, Dune, and Halloween. We got 4 good ones so far.
Yep. And
outside of Marvel,
not Venom. I was going to say Venom, but that one's not coming. Sure, there's some other stuff. I mean, looking down the line here at what's coming. Like, oh my God. Yes, I could tell you a movie I will absolutely be reviewing in the next week or so. I can't wait for this movie. It's so bad. I can't show the trailer here because they've been notorious for copyright claiming people for doing it. But there's a movie coming out from the BET network called Karen.
nice.
When this trailer dropped a couple of months ago, it's so bad. Like, the trailer is so ridiculously bad that people thought it was like a tongue-in-cheek comedy, like a satire, if you will. That's what everybody thought. And then halfway through the trailer, you realize, no, they're being serious. This is like they're going for it in this movie for this to be serious. It is going to be so fucking bad. This is going to be such a trash movie. I have to watch it. When you get off of here, look up Karen. The trailer for Karen, and it is you'll laugh your ass off. It is so bad. It's so fucking bad. But besides that, I mean, looking down the line here through September, there's not really a lot coming out. I mean, Hotel Transylvania, The Addams Family 2 apparently is coming out. Didn't that come out in like 1993?
Yeah.
They've still got Venom Let There Be Carnage slated for October 15th, but this might be out of date. Halloween Kill. Oh, yeah, Venom Let There Be Carnage and Halloween Kills supposedly on the same day. Dune is the next week after that, on October 22nd. Jackass Forever. The Eternals, November 5th. Home Alone. Tell me they're not remaking
Please
Home
God,
Alone.
it has Macaulay Culkin in it.
Please God, don't be a remake. Just be like a re-release or something. Oh, yeah, Resident Evil. November 24th is the new Resident Evil movie, supposedly.
Okay, well, that's first I heard of that.
December 27th. Oh, Matrix 4 is slated for December 22nd. That is not even a full week. Oh, yeah, 1 week after Spider-Man No Way Home. That is when it is, on here at least. That's when it's coming out. And then we go into next year. Scream. The next Scream is coming. I guess they're just calling it Scream. But yeah, so
Sure, why not?
yeah, there isn't really a lot coming. I mean, there are other movies. There are other movies. There's other movies on here, but nothing. The big movies. Those are the only real big movies. Oh, Ghostbusters. That's on there for November 11th. Top Gun Maverick. I bet that won't come out. That movie's been delayed already over a year. Whatever.
And that goes right back to what I said before. It's hard to recapture the feeling of an era, 40 years later?
Yeah.
36 years later, something like that?
I mean, the trailer of that, I mean, it was lots of airplanes. And apparently Tom Cruise learned how to drive or fly a F-14 Tomcat or whatever. So I guess that's cool. Nick said, oh, God, my Candyman review has barely any video footage because Universal sucks. Oh, they're copyright claiming you. Yeah, that sucks, man. Malignant. Yeah, that's that James Wan new movie. Or no, I don't know when it comes out. Sometime this year. It's a horror movie. Probably in October sometime. Oh, yeah. September 10th. It's my twin's birthday.
That sounds interesting. I think I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, James Wan horror movie. I don't really know. It's one of those good trailers that doesn't really give too much away. It just gives you kind of a tone. But anywho, that is all I've got this week, ladies and jelly spoons. I know this is a little bit of an unorthodox, a little bit different from how I usually do the show.
Pure chaos.
It was very unorganized, but I hope you guys enjoyed what we had to say. I appreciate you guys all coming and hanging out. And tell your friends, hit the like button, all that good stuff. And
Tell your enemies.
you guys come back next week. Go check out Alvin on his social medias and all that good stuff. Watch some of his streams when he does that. And that's about it. You got anything else you want to throw out there before we get out of here, man?
Can't wait for Halloween. Let's get it going.
You
September
heard.
1st, the first day of Halloween.
There you go. September 1st, first day of Halloween. You guys go see Halloween Kills. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Thank you, short and sweet. Bye.
Bye.